All right, guys, if you join us here on Carolina Outdoors, we've already gotten to a fish. I'm out somewhere, I'm your host. We got a net man here. His name is Roland Addy, and he has Carolina Crappie Guide Service. And he has been putting us on the crappie first thing this morning. And we are catching slabs. Let me get this one out of here. I mean, this is as good as crappie as you're going to catch out here.
Perfect. Fun size to catch, fun size to eat, good size to eat. That's what we after.
Roland Addy's putting us on the crappie. We'll be right back with some more Carolina Outdoors.
The Kubota dealers of the Carolinas are proud to present Carolina Outdoors, showcasing our passion for the outdoors, for Earth, for life.
Lady, here. I was able to get it done. He's a big wide 8-point. Come on. 2 birds, 1 shot.
Carolina Outdoors with Alex Summer is next.
All right, Roland, I noticed when you tie these jigs on here that you have a different kind of knot. You don't just basically cinch the knot down to the head. You allow that head to swivel around in there. What's the concept for doing that?
The concept is, you know, when a minnow is in the water,
right,
it's going to be upright just like that.
Right.
So if you tie a regular old knot and cinch it down, most of the time your jig is at an angle. So I tie this little old loop knot just to keep that jig at all times sitting the way it should be sitting.
Right, and that allows for that minnow to float freely or whatever as you pull it?
It allows it to float around, and number one, it's sitting the way it should be sitting in the water.
Right.
You know, otherwise, if you tie a regular old knot, unless there's the old school, just regular knot.
Yeah, old fisherman knot.
Yeah, your jig actually sits at an angle like that, unless you take that knot and pull it to the top every time before you throw it. And you can slide that old regular old fisherman's knot down.
What's the name of that knot? You got a name?
I just call it just old loop knot.
Okay,
and
loop knot.
I can show you how to.
That's right.
I mean, we can show you how to do it. It's really a simple knot.
And then you use a split shot up here.
I just put a small piece of split shot on it because we're fishing. I mean, today we're fishing with a real light head, and I put a BB size split shot just to get it on down there a little bit quicker.
Right.
And because you'll see we're using Garmin Live Scope, and you can actually see your jig better. With that split shot on there, and like I said, this is just a BB size. I don't like a big heavy piece just because it messes with the action.
The whole concept behind that is just getting it down there quicker.
Get it down there quicker in the strike zone so that you don't have to sit there and wait. If you 164-ounce head, which is what we're using right now, it takes forever for it to sink. You know, especially when we're fishing 14, 15 foot down, which is what we're gonna be doing.
And your rod here, what is this? What is this? 7-foot rod, I guess. This one is.
This is a 7-foot rod, and I'm just making sure. Yeah, 7-foot St. Croix.
Okay.
You know, this is what I've struggled finding a rod that I like for this type fishing, but so far this is my favorite, and I'm probably gonna be getting a couple more of them soon. But like I said, it's a St. Croix rod, 7-foot. It's got a Fluger Tryon reel on it.
Okay, I like Fluger reels myself.
Yeah, that's a good reel.
And you said it was 4-pound test on this one?
4-pound.
4-pound test on this. Okay.
4-pound test.
And of course, you like to use that light line. I mean, you're fishing for crappie too, so of course.
I mean, I pretty much 4 or 6 is pretty much what I use. Like I said, this is 4-pound test that we're gonna be using today, just because this water's pretty clear and it's the dead of summertime, and in the summertime you got to go light.
Right.
You know.
And that weight, because you fishing, we're probably in 30 foot of water here, I guess you'd say, 25?
We're in 30 foot right now. We're 25 right now. What we're going to be fishing is in about 22, 23.
Okay.
So we'll be fishing about 50.
And that's the whole concept of using that weight to get it down there quicker.
Just to get it down there so we don't have to sit here and wait. You know, the objective is, and you're going to see when you crappie fishing, and we was talking about this live scope earlier, the quicker you can get that bait right in front of his face, you know, the better off you are. They don't chase it much.
That's right.
You see on this live
You're kind of dropping it right in front of their face, huh?
They don't chase it. For years I thought, you know, a fish is going to chase something, but they don't chase it. You got to get in front of their face.
All right.
They're not going to hit it if it's not.
Well, let's put this tackle set up we got down there in front of their face to catch one.
Yeah, that's right. So we just, like I said, I just tip it. I use a little, just called chartreuse pearl slab slayer dancer jig.
Okay, and that's our buddy Marty that puts them out.
Marty Trammell, yeah. And this is just a little, like I said, this is his dancer jig, and I just loop it through there. Sometimes I use straight jigs, but as I was telling Alex a while ago, today we're gonna tip with a minnow just because of the time of year and seems to be what they've been liking.
Okay.
So we just tip it with a little small minnow, toughy minnow, and we're gonna put it down there and see what we can do with them.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some. I need to see this live scope and watch them work on that thing.
All right, let's go ahead and position the boat back. Wherever direction my trolling motor is pointing,
that's
what it's showing in front of it. So
okay.
Right now you can see that log right there.
Yep.
You can see it's harder to see right now until I turn it, but there's branches of that log kind of sticking out. It's
right.
The stump of it.
Yep.
That's the roots is what it actually is.
Yep.
And you can see those fish
right on top of it.
Right on top of it, and they're sitting right now. They're about 25 foot out
from the boat, 14 foot down.
14 foot down. So
I'll be.
And we got to turn it just a little bit in order, and I'm gonna back up just so we don't get right on top of them. And then we just getting ready to pitch it on out there. Because
it will spook them off there.
Yeah, man, these fish, these crappie are really
finicky.
Really finicky, and they're spooky. All right, so just kind of go and just pitch it straight on out in front of the boat. You ain't got to pitch it far.
Okay, I might do too far. That's all right. Figure this out as I'm going too.
That's right. All right, you can see my jig right there. You can barely see it, but it's there.
Okay, I do see it, and I see the fish coming right up to it.
Looking at it. There he is right
there. There you go. Well, I tell you, that's about like you made that rocket science look like pretty easy right there. I'm telling you now. Got a net. Okay.
He's right there.
And you just watch that fall right down there, and them fish come straight up to that.
Well, you know when to stop it, so that you don't, and you want to keep it above them. So that's just.
Well, that's what you always, they say crappie will feed up.
Yeah.
Because I reckon when you look at it, when their mouth is closed, it's actually turned up towards the top.
That's a good eating size fish right there. Probably. These 3
You feel a frying pan slam up with them.
Yeah.
You feel a frying pan slam up with those.
So, good little fish.
You can see the fish on the live, see them there picking up. And you can actually watch them swim sometimes. You'll see one swim.
Once you get closer, you'll be able to see them with more detail. But for right now, like I said, we're about 15, 20 foot from them, so Alex going to pitch out there.
Yep.
You don't have to do a long one, a little short, that's perfect.
And you can actually see
your bait right there.
Yep.
Yours is fine.
And there's one hitting mine right there.
It's just getting close.
I think that's one just came up.
You want to tighten your line up. I'm going to back up because I don't want to get too close to it.
Looked like one came up to mine, but he just didn't hit it. That's why one little piece of brush out here, and it's like an oasis, ain't it? All the fish on one little piece of brush.
Let's hit mine right now.
There you go. I see him coming up from
Get that net, Alex. This is good.
Net right here behind you. I got you. Oh, you got it on that side?
Yep, he's right here.
There we go. That's another good slab there, ain't it?
Yeah, it's good fish there. Good summertime fish.
I mean, it's wild when you people go crappie fishing. For a long time when I was a kid, I don't know how you was, but I thought it was that certain time in March that everybody went, when you long lined, and and for the longest time I didn't know you could catch crappie like this during the summer. And I guarantee you a lot of people at home don't know you can catch crappie like this during the summertime.
I mean, summertime honestly is about my favorite time of year to fish.
And the people that know crappie fishing tell me that.
Nobody else is fishing. You got the lake to yourself. You do have to put up with the heat, but things don't change a whole lot. I mean, it's once you get on a pattern, it's a pattern.
Right.
Whereas in the springtime, fish are constantly moving. You got pressure, so you find them one day, and then 10 boats come in there.
And like we watching on this live scope, these fish are just staged up. I mean, they're sitting there tight.
And they just sitting there.
Right.
And you like I said, and this ain't even a brush pile that's been put in. This is just an old log that's on the bottom of the lake.
So you ain't actually got to do the work and put these brush piles in, you see a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
But you can find structure out here and do it yourself.
They get on natural stuff. They get on brush. I mean, stumps.
Right.
Whatever. It don't have to necessarily be a brush pile. Bridges. you know, bridges are if you don't know anything about it, a bridge is always a good spot to start. That's what I tell people all the time, because that's a pretty good little summertime fish.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great fish. We'll get him in live. We'll catch 20 more of them things, right?
Good eating site.
The limit this time of year, what is the limit this time of year on crappie?
Crappie in South Carolina is 8 inches.
8 inches. That's 20, total state.
20 fish per person.
20 fish per person.
And that's standard, like I said, throughout the state.
Well, I tell you, 20 of them will feed a family.
Yeah, man. 20 fish is plenty of fish.
Yes, sir. Let's get this one in the live well. Get them back out there.
Get a few more.
Sounds good. Roland, I noticed we moved to a different location after we were slowing down over there a little bit. And I mean, it's warming up a little bit. First cast though, we pulled up on here, got this thing in the water and got a hook in this fish. Now our temperature is about 85 degrees. What depth are we sitting at now when we got on these fish?
Well, you know, we're actually shallower. We're sitting in the boat's in 12 foot of water right here. The brush is that's a brim.
Is that a brim? Well, we'll take a slab brim.
The brush is in about 14 foot here, but it's still kind of the same location right off the main lake. I don't think you need the net for him, but still the same location right off the main part of the lake.
Right.
You know, and this time of year when it gets hot like this, you just got to focus on, you know, stuff. It doesn't matter the depth of water as much, but it's just got to be close to deep water.
I mean, that's a slab brim now too. I take brim like that. Well, we ain't brim fishing today, we're crappie fishing.
That's a good,
but a lot of times you was talking about a while ago, we caught 3 fish or 4 fish right there.
4 fish right from the get-go.
And they just kind of get finicky on the bite after that, and you have to move.
You just move on.
Do you generally move back to them later if you ain't catching?
Yeah.
And they just kind of calm down.
They might bite. You know, it's just one of them deals. Like I said, the worst thing about the live scope, you know, for years it was 3 or 4 fish a pile. Then you finally hit one pile most of the time and catch 15 or 20,
right.
You know, maybe on it. Worst thing about the live scope is great, but sometimes you can get caught up on trying to catch fish.
Because you can see them down there.
You can see them down there. And so my philosophy is if you sit there and mess with them a little bit and they're not biting,
right.
Move on. And now, find your place that they will bite.
Now, Roland, your guide service is Carolina Crappie Guide Service, right? And you just started. I know you've been crappie fishing for a while, but you just started guiding.
Yeah, I just started guiding. I think June 20th was my first trip, so
right.
A little over almost a month now.
Right.
You know, it's just something I just decided back the first of the year. Hey, I like to fish a lot. You know, might as well try to share it with other people. And,
okay. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you, how would they get in touch with you to set up a trip to go crappie fishing?
They can look me up on Facebook, Carolina Crappie Guide Service.
Carolina Crappie Guide Service.
I have a Facebook page, or you can call me at 864-980-3672. You can call or text me at that number. That's my cell phone.
Okay.
So,
well,
that's the best way to get in touch with me.
Well, let's go for the target fish now. I'm going to get this brim back in the water and get a target fish on there.
That's exactly right.
Roland, you got into another one here, buddy. We done pulled up on another spot.
Yep.
Get your net right here. Feel like a pretty good one too there, huh?
Fish.
That's a slab. Oh, yeah. How do they slab? Get some help there, buddy.
Good quality fish here.
Now on Lake Greenwood, I mean, that's a lot of what you catch here on Lake Greenwood. I mean, there's good crappie fishing on this lake. I know a lot of people, you don't hear a lot of fishing about Greenwood. It's spotted bass lake when it comes to bass fishing, but there's great crappie on this lake, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's you know, I'm not gonna say Greenwood is as good numbers wise as it used to be,
right?
Like a couple years ago. But for quality fish, I mean, it's about as good as it gets right now.
That's as good as crappie as you can catch anywhere.
I fished a tournament, a little club tournament, trail that we fish in, and it took, back in March, and it took 16.02 pounds on 7 fish.
On 7 fish.
So that's, I mean, that's about as
2 pounds of fish,
it gets anywhere, you know, around this neck of the woods.
That's over 2 pounds of fish.
Yeah. So, you know, it's, like I said, it's full of fish just like that. I mean, that's a nice, you know, 1 pound fish.
That's a great fish.
Now, over a pound.
Would you tell me about the story you was telling me earlier about the guy you met when you was talking about crappie fishing? Now, who was it that you met?
Oh, you talking about, we were at a buddy of mine's house, and it was a pretty cool story. My uncle, who fishes with me a lot,
right?
We got to talking about crappie fishing.
Yeah.
And it was actually, like I said, a buddy of mine, and Kevin Van Dam was there.
That's right, and everybody knows KVD.
Everybody knows him, and you know, it was a pretty neat time. And Bob, my uncle, got to talking to him, and he said something about, he called Bob, somehow or another, my uncle, the Crappie King, because he had a hat that said Crappie King 2000 on it, or he had a hat that said Crappie King, and Kevin said he was calling him the Crappie King.
Crappie King.
And my uncle corrected him, and he said, well, we're up here in South Carolina now, and it's not crappie, it's crappie.
Tell that to KVD,
so
huh?
I was like, so you had a lot of nerve to tell KVD that.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was a funny story.
That is, but that's what we call them here in the South. It's crappie here.
Crappie, that's right.
Oh, yeah, got nothing on right here. Oh, yeah, it's a little better one there. But they all feel good on the 2-pound test, don't they? Pill and drag like a 10-pound rock stars. Which, you know, a 2-pound crappie is that big of a crappie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping I got on there now. So I'm talking him up.
He looked pretty good on the live scope. I saw him hit it.
That thing is wild, buddy. I mean, you can't do this fishing without live scoping. I mean, you did it for years without it.
I've done it for years. It just helps. You're not guessing.
That's right, Club. You know he's down there.
You know those fish are there.
Oh, that's all right.
Knock him on for you.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. There.
That's what I want the big one of the day. See, I don't catch the most, I catch the big one. I didn't want to catch all them in-betweeners. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there we go. See,
Barely
came
good.
right out. Turn around and look what we got there. Now, how much you'd say that? That's probably a what?
That's
right
a good,
14 inches, 15 inches?
Yeah, 14, 15 inch fish. Probably about a 125, 130, I would say. I got some scales back.
Right, no.
130.
I just know you got a better eye for them, especially tournament
fish. He's a 130, I would say.
I mean, that's
he's right there. And like I said, that was on old Get 'em Green.
Get 'em green.
Dancer, Slab Slayer Dancer there.
And that one was the same way. I never felt him hit. I just kind of felt him,
He
just the weight of him.
And just like I said, they're not aggressive this time of year.
Right, I just kind of suck them in. That's it, huh?
Suck it in, and you can see they don't move far. You got to hit them right in the head.
Well, let's get him in the live. We'll catch some more, buddy.
That's right.
Be right back with some more Carolina Outdoors. He hit that one like, oh, he came off.
Ah.
I don't know the way you hit it like that. The way you hit it like that. I'm hooking this. What we call this toughies. Yep. But we usually hook them through the bottom lip and try to come out one of the nostrils you'll see on the top of it. It ain't exactly got to come out there, but you're trying not to kill them. The whole concept behind that. Just toughen it. That's what we call toughen it off, right?
Yeah, that's actually a small shiner there.
Okay, yeah.
I want toughies, and there's a few small shiners mixed in with these toughies.
Right. Okay.
So you're gonna get one every now and then.
That's fine. Bigger bait equals bigger fish, right?
Sometimes. But I generally like this. I mean, that's a good size minnow there.
Right.
I like the smaller minnows. I don't like the large shiners or the medium shiners. I want as small as I can find this time of year.
Boy, I love it. They're telling you this 2-pound test with this heavy rod. I'm telling you, it's like
every one of them feels like a 2-pounder. Don't
it's a 100-pound catfish on this thing. 100-pound catfish on this thing. I'm telling you.
Good one.
I mean, another slab.
Pretty fish.
Another slab.
Pretty fish.
I tell you, we're gonna have a frying pan mess for long, right? That's already a frying pan full there, ain't just one fish.
You catching them that size, it don't take many.
It sure don't. That's another good one. Get a hold on this one. I mean, all the meat I can see right there, you know, that's like one big tenderloin down the back there, ain't it?
That's right. Hey, like I said, you catch him releasing some hot grease.
That's it. That's what it is. Now I know, you throw a lot of your bigger crap back, or you try to take the big ones.
This time of year is when I keep more fish than any other time of year. You know, in the springtime, particularly when the fish are full of eggs,
right.
I put them bigger ones back.
Well, they say the crappie, what is it, 4 years they live anyway, or something like that, 4 or 5?
The lifespan is like 4 to 5 years, and that's why, a lot of people push for bigger size limit, which I'll say the size limit, the 8-inch size limit here has really helped.
Right.
The fishery as a whole in the state of South Carolina.
Yeah. The
8-inch 20 fish limit. But from what I understand, the reasoning, and a lot of people want a 10-inch limit now, which I'm not against it. Just because I do think it would help, but they say the reasoning against it is the lifespan of a crappie.
Just the lifespan.
They don't make it that long, anyways, to get that big. So,
right. So a fish like this is more or less what carries your genetics. So once they've done laid out, and you might say it's a 3-4-year-old fish anyway.
Like I said, and we do a good job of it. I'll say. I mean, I love to eat them as much as anybody.
Right.
But
just don't keep more than you're gonna mess with.
Don't keep more than you're gonna mess with. You don't have to keep a limit every time you fish.
Right.
And in the spring, when everybody's out here fishing,
Yeah.
put those big fish back.
That's right.
I mean, because we
let's be honest. 10 fish like this, you can feed a family on 10 fish this
and
size.
We've got to protect our future.
That's right.
I want everybody to be able to enjoy it like I have my whole life, and putting those big fish back means the world. I mean, if you're gonna keep fish in the spring, keep the smaller fish. Don't keep the big fish. Like I said, bigger fish, to me, in my opinion, like I said, they need to be put back in the spring.
That's right.
This time of year, you aren't affecting the population as much because they're not laying.
Right, they done did their laying.
Yeah.
That's another good. We'll get him in the live well. Like I said, he's going to the catch and release to the grooves, what you say, right?
That's right.
Well, Roland, that's a really good fish, and that's going to be all the time we have for today. Before we go, can you give me one more time how to get in touch with you?
Carolina Crappie Guide Service, LLC. You can look me up on Facebook, or you can call me at 864-980-3672 if you want to get in on some of this. Like I said, Lake Murray, we're on Greenwood today, or Clark's Hill. I can do any of them. Just get in touch with me if you want a trip.
All right, that's a really good fish. Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. So until next time, get out and enjoy your Carolina outdoors.
Thanks for watching Carolina Outdoors, online 24/7 at CarolinaOutdoorsTV.com. See you next week on Carolina Outdoors.